Every year, over 1.3 million Indian students go abroad for higher education. The most popular destination isn't hard to guess, the USA, which takes in about 300,000 Indian students annually. I was one of them too. Back in the day, I started my MS at Virginia Tech. Then I transferred in a semester to Georgia Tech, which was ranked #1 for industrial engineering. After that, I worked at Google for 10 years. And in all these years, I observed the brutal reality of Indian students. Today, even toppers from India who go for an MS are finding it hard to get a job and are working for NGOs or on campus cutting sandwiches. With the poor job market, there's been a 46% drop in Indian students going to the US since last year. If you're watching this video, chances are you or someone you know is spending 40-50 lakhs to get an MS abroad. We'll expose why Indians matter to universities, why getting an admit is easier than ever, but succeeding is hard. We will compare USA versus European options and give you a practical framework to decide what's right for you. Hi, I'm Nupur Dave from NRI Diaries, proud to be a part of Zerodha's Zero1 Network. We help NRIs navigate life between countries, from careers and money to finding meaning abroad. So there's a subscribe button here. Hit it to join thousands making this journey together. In the past decades, universities abroad woke up to a cash cow, the Indian student. They're the perfect match. Sincere hai, hardworking hai, they live in fear and follow all rules as they have so much at stake, some even keeping their homes girvi for a loan. Reports show that all Indian students, undergrad and grad, brought in about $11 to $12 billion in tuition and living expenses over the year. To put this in perspective, $11 billion is more than the GDP of some small countries. And that 11 billion flows from middle-class chai-drinking parents who would put aside 100 rupees every month for a sacrifice they could barely afford. It hurts to know that this type of sacrificial money makes an Indian not just a student at these universities, but a business with a guaranteed source of annual revenue. But let's look at the fundamental question. Why are Indian students moving abroad for an MS? Many have reasons that have nothing to do with education. The student path is the guaranteed path to migrate out of the country. Andhra is famous for sending students to the US because it gives long-term status. For some, it's about money or better work culture, and for some, it's about escaping their current life in India. Imagine a person who isn't interested in studies and enrolls in an MS program is obviously going to go through hell. But the thing is, even bright, genuinely interested students are not spared challenges. So what are these challenges? Firstly, it's the switch. The Indian system makes us great at cracking exams. Some would say we are great magoos, excellent at following Navneet most likely questions. The education system abroad has a different, more pragmatic approach. The coursework switches you into a new side of your brain that you never had to use, to think critically and create original outputs. Then there's the theory versus hands-on skill gap. I spoke to a student who studied robotics, which is a multidisciplinary field. She said her whole class of Indians were able to study theory, but were struggling in the lab to actually build a robot in practice. The comfort that so many are doing an MS, your seniors, your friends, makes people complacent. They come to university without knowing what they're actually getting into, and so they struggle. Many Indians use an MS to switch fields and might have a tough time. For example, a business major who enrolls in an analytics course may be surprised to realize that learning coding sounded doable when they saw the course name, but are stumped with the difficulty when they actually start the class. Most importantly, living abroad stops being about studies. Have you ever heard the majority of MS students talking about coursework? No, they're talking about visas and rejections, and that's just the spoken problems. There's the unspoken anxiety, like how will I pay back my loan? Or resolving a roommate conflict who refused to pay for his share of the AC bill, or how they had to beg a senior for a car ride to the Indian store. Cooking is a huge problem because many of us Indians know nothing of it. I've heard of a brilliant engineer who was told to wash rice and he used detergent to wash it. Such is the level of cluelessness. So here's what this means. Going abroad for an MS is not an academic experience. It's a crash course in survival and life management. Cooking, cleaning, dealing with people. things your mom, dad, maid and the chill life in India handled for you. You're essentially paying lakhs of rupees to become an adult. How do you prepare for this? Does signing up for a cooking class or doing laundry on your own help? Nothing can prepare you. You can watch endless YouTube videos about this university has this course or this is how MS students live. It's just voyeurism. You can't prepare till you live it. That's why you will see Indian students abroad sticking to other Indians. It provides a comforting constant while everything else in their life is disrupted. But it also steals from true foreign experience. A graduate from Arizona State University said it was ironic that she had to go out of her way to get a taste of international experience while in university because ASU is filled with Indians. A young man from Hyderabad rejected a university that has a lot of people from Andhra and picked a lower ranked university because he said, I'm not going to spend 50 lakhs just to go and live in Andhra again. Does school quality and ranking matter? I can tell you it does. I was at Virginia Tech, ranked 9 at that time for a semester before I transferred to Georgia Tech, ranked 1 for industrial engineering. There was a visible difference in the students. Virginia Tech had normal people. Georgia Tech was full of university toppers and IITians. I was taking statistics courses with PhDs from Indian Statistical Institute. The other big difference was the courses frequency. Where one course might be offered only for a fall semester at Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech would offer 3 variations of that topic every semester. The coursework in the higher ranked university was also more computationally exhaustive. Here's an actual screenshot of a deterministic optimization course I took. Top tier universities are genuinely difficult. Most of my core courses required deep probability understanding, which many non-IITians struggled with because we don't know the basics of it. Most of us got B's in those 2-3 courses and some even got C's and even F's. The dropout rates are not published for international students, but I can tell you no one's going to tell you they got a C or an F. The IIT and genuinely talented non-IITians were able to score 4.0 GPAs, but the others were between 3 and 3.7. While doing research for this video, I spoke to Yash from Purdue University, who saw a similar case when he studied marketing. Because some Indian students didn't expect that marketing analytics needed R and Python coding and they didn't do well in those subjects. Getting a 3.9 GPA at ASU is very different from a 3.9 GPA at Harvard. Over the past decade, the quality of Indian students applying has changed. A lot of talent is staying back in India, founding startups or with high growth companies. Due to visa restrictions and new rumors daily, many potential students aren't applying. What this means is that universities are now accepting students who might not have been competitive 5 years ago. So now the question is, are you getting accepted because you're the best candidate or because the standard has lowered? I spoke to Sai Kumar from the University of Connecticut, who said there are 2 reasons why it's easier now than ever for Indians to apply. First, consulting firms in India help with applications and do research in even small amounts like 10,000 rupees. Second, it's 100 times faster now with AI tools. Application content like statements and letters can be generated in minutes. The differentiation factor now goes back to what it was a long time ago. Your Desi mark sheet and genuine contribution to the industry. Though admits are easier, getting a job is an Everest to climb. Due to AI layoffs, fresh grads are now competing with people with 5 to 10 years of work experience willing to work at entry-level salaries. Graduating students are working part-time in NGOs or taking unpaid internships. Others are staying with friends till they find jobs. A few are returning to India. Some gave up or had a family business backup. The ones who got a job either have exceptional technical skills, did great networking, or had luck on their side. Sai from University of Connecticut noticed that all his friends eventually got a job. He recommends pushing at it for however long it takes, 3, 5, 12 months, but don't lose hope. The number 1 place where Indians maar khate hain is networking. Growing up, we're not taught the finesse of networking. What networking means is not about getting, but about giving. When you connect with someone, offer them value, like free help or an invitation to an event. Even if there's nothing to give, at least keep in touch with all your information neatly written in your outreach email to them. Most Indians don't know how to grab opportunities. I was at a conference in SF doing resume reviews for over 200 students. Here's what shocked me. Only one person followed up afterwards. The rest 199 just disappeared after getting their resumes checked. These same students will later wonder why they can't find opportunities, not realizing they had direct access to people who could have helped them. Steve Jobs said that the difference between those with opportunity and those without is picking up the phone and calling someone. If students are not getting a job in the USA, why is the USA so popular? The US has always been the top country where cutting-edge technology is born, the top research, better opportunities, and very high pay. But it's also very far from India, a difficult life, and has very stringent visa laws. So why aren't Indians considering other countries? I spoke to Chinmay, who studied in Paris, who says Europe has good schools, maybe not at Ivy League level, but certainly on par with a regular US university. It's just that Indians only go to places we have previously heard of. She encourages students to research European universities instead of sticking to universities their friends have gone to. Even inside the European Union, not all countries are the same. Spain, France, etc. are great for business degrees, while Swiss and German universities are known for technical programs. The biggest challenge to find a job in the European Union is you need to know the language or basics of it. Some Indians leave the country because they can't adjust to the language barrier for job search. To decide which continent to choose, ask yourself, what life do you want to live? The EU and America are very different lifestyles. Go to Europe if you want to live life and experience culture, travel, beaches. Go to the USA if you want to reach your potential and get great work opportunities. If your goal is to immigrate out of the country, there are other routes like a job route to do it. Don't torture yourself with studies if you hate the idea of it. We do say that the advantage of MS is the network you make, but I'll admit I have a better network from my job at Google than from my university. So a great job in India might actually be better than a low-ranked university abroad. Whatever you decide, make sure it's your decision based on your needs and not a choice made by FOMO. Thanks for watching. I wish you the very best in your journey. I'm Nupur Dave, and until next time, bye.